Hello, welcome to another session in our teaching series, Hidden Facts in Biology. We'll be looking at the excretory system. And under this, we'll talk about the excretory system in mammals. There are four types of excretory organs used by mammals. These are the lungs, the skin, the liver, and the kidney. But the major excretory organs in mammals are the kidney. In a tabular format, we'll be looking at the excretory organs and the materials that they excrete. The first excretory organs we'll talk about is the lungs, and the materials excreted by the lungs include carbon dioxide and water. The second excretory organ we'll look at is the skin, and the materials excreted by the skin include sweat. Sweat contains water, salts, and urine. The next excretory organ we'll look at is the liver. The materials excreted by the liver include bilirubin. Bilirubin is a bipigment that is derived from the decomposition of hemoglobin. The next excretory organ is the kidney, and the materials excreted by the kidney include water, mineral salts, urine, uric acid, and creatinine. Now let's talk about the kidney proper. The kidneys are the organs responsible for the excretion of all nitrogenous waste from the body, and they are also responsible for the osmoregulation of the blood and body fluid. I will show you a diagram of the human excretory system showing the kidney in particular. This is a diagram, and with this diagram we are going to be talking about the structure of the kidney. In the human body, actually, there are two kidneys present in the abdominal wall. These include the left and the right kidney. The right kidney, as marked by the following arrow, is slightly lower in position than the left kidney. The left kidney is marked now by the arrow. Each kidney, as you can see, has a bean shape. It is shaped like a bean seed, and they appear dark red in color, and they are kept in position by fibrous capsule and fats that surrounds it. There is a structure that lies at the top of each kidney, and this structure is known as the adrenal gland. Each kidney is joined with renal artery, renal vein, and ureter. So we can see the left renal artery that joins the left kidney, and the right renal artery that joins the right kidney. The renal artery carries oxygenated blood to the kidney, while the renal vein carries away the oxygenated blood. The function of the ureter is that the ureter carries urine to the urinary bladder, which temporarily stores the urine until time of excretion. Now, when a kidney is cut vertically, it consists of three portions: the cortex, the medulla, and the pelvis. We are going to be showing you the vertical section of a kidney now. So this is the vertical section of a kidney, and you can see that it consists of three portions: the cortex, the medulla, and the pelvis. We'll be taking them individually. The cortex forms the outer layer, and it consists of the finger bodies and tubules. The renal artery and the renal veins forms capillaries in the finger tubules. The medulla is the inner layer, and it consists of uriniferous tubules. The medulla forms inward projections. As you can see, the medulla forms inward projections of about 15 to 16 pyramids. So we can see the pyramid of the medulla, and it is through these pyramids that the uriniferous tubules open into the pelvis. Now let's discuss about the pelvis. The pelvis leads into the ureter, while the ureter will lead into the urinary bladder, and the urinary bladder leads into the urethra. The structure responsible for the formation of urine is the nephron, and the nephron is known as the kidney tubule. Each kidney consists of about 1 million nephrons. The nephron is otherwise known as the functional unit of the kidney. Take note that the urethra is shared by both the excretory and the reproductive system. So now we are going to be talking in detail about the functional unit of the kidney, and that is known as the nephron. So this is a diagram showing the basic functional unit of the kidney, that is the nephron. A nephron is made up of cup-shaped Bowman capsule and a coiled uriniferous tubule. The Bowman's capsule is supplied with a branch of artery and afferent arteriole. The Bowman's capsule is supplied with a branch of the renal artery and afferent arteriole, which divide several times and form tiny branches called capillaries. These capillaries unite at one end to form the efferent arteriole. This network of capillaries is called the glomerulus. The walls of the glomerulus and Bowman's capsule have tiny pores which allows molecules to pass through. The body of the skin is made up of Bowman's capsule and glomerulus. The nephron consists of three portions, namely the first convoluted tubule joins the Bowman's capsule anteriorly and the loop of Henle posteriorly. The efferent arteriole forms a network of capillaries. The nephron is the basic functional unit of the kidney. It is made up of cup-shaped Bowman's capsule and a long coiled uriniferous tubule. The Bowman's capsule is supplied with a branch of renal artery and afferent arteriole, which divides several times and forms tiny branches called capillaries. These capillaries unite at one end to form the efferent arteriole. So that's the efferent arteriole. This network of capillaries is called the wall of the glomerulus and Bowman's capsule have tiny pores which allows molecules to pass through. The body of the kidney is made up of the Bowman's capsule and glomerulus. The nephron consists of three portions, namely the first or proximal convoluted tubule, the loop of Henle, and the second or distal convoluted tubule. The first convoluted tubule joins the Bowman's capsule anteriorly and the loop of Henle posteriorly. The loop of Henle leads into the second convoluted tubule, which in turn joins the main collecting duct. The efferent arteriole forms a network of capillaries over the surface of the uriniferous tubule as it leaves the glomerulus. So this is all about the basic structure of the nephron, which is the functional unit of the kidney. So this is all about the basic structure of the nephron, which is the functional unit of the kidney. So now we are going to be looking at the process of formation and discharge of urine by the kidney. The cells of the liver are responsible for changing all nitrogenous waste into urea. The urea is carried to the kidneys by the renal artery. Blood under high pressure flows into the Bowman's capsule through a branch of renal artery, that is the afferent arteriole. This high pressure allows substances of low molecular weight to pass through the tiny pores of the glomerulus and Bowman's capsule by a process called ultrafiltration. In this process, substances of large molecular size do not pass through the glomerulus, but rather remains in the blood. Now, what are the substances that then flow into the Bowman's capsule? Substances that flow into the Bowman's capsule include urea, glucose, water, mineral salts, vitamins, hormones, and amino acid. The fluid in the Bowman's capsule is called the glomerular filtrate. This glomerular filtrate passes through into the proximal convoluted tubule where they are reabsorbed into the body, a process called ultrafiltration. After the reabsorption, the filtrate passes into the loop of Henle where exchange of ions take place This is where the final reabsorption of water takes place. Take note of the following, that the longer the loop of Henle, the more efficient the reabsorption of water. The filtrate continues its journey to the distal convoluted tubule and collecting duct, where further reabsorption of water and salts takes place. After the reabsorption, the fluid in the kidney tubule is called urine. The collecting ducts then empty the urine into the pelvis. From the pelvis, the ureter passes the urine into the urinary bladder, where it is stored for some time and later discharged through the urethra to the outside world. Take note of the following. Those substances that cannot pass through the glomerulus remain in the blood, and they include substances like blood cells, plasma, like prothrombin and fibrinogen. Now we have looked at the formation and discharge of urine by the kidney. The next concept we'll be looking at is the function of the kidney. We'll be dividing this into three. We'll look at the excretory function, the osmoregulatory function, and the acid-base balance function. The first function of the kidney is the function of excretion, and excretion is the removal of waste products of metabolism from the body. We will be going into details on the discussion of the excretory function of the kidney because we have discussed it earlier on. This will lead us to the next function of the kidney, which is the function of osmoregulation, that is water balance in the body. The process by which the amount of water to mineral salts in the body fluids of a living organism is balanced is known as osmoregulation. In some scenarios, such as vigorous exercise like running and boxing and maybe other activities, water is lost from the body via sweating. The water content in the body reduces as a result of this water loss. The body will then need to conserve water in order to prevent damage to the body cells due to loss of water. There are some receptors known as the osmoreceptors present in the hypothalamus found in the brain. These receptors detect changes in the osmotic pressure in the blood as the water content of the blood falls. The pituitary gland is stimulated to release more ADH. ADH means antidiuretic hormone into the blood, and as a result of this ADH, the walls of the kidney tubules become more permeable to water, and so more water is reabsorbed into the blood by osmosis. The consequence of this is that less water is then lost from the body through the bladder as concentrated urine. On the other hand, when there is too much water in the body, the same osmoreceptors in the hypothalamus of the brain are stimulated, but this time they are stimulated to release less antidiuretic hormone into the blood, thus making the walls of the kidney less permeable to water, and so less water is reabsorbed into the body by osmosis. And the consequence of this is that large quantity of water is then present in the urine, which is passed out from the bladder as diluted urine. Also, when the weather is cold, urination is very frequent because little or no water is released through the skin by sweating. Take note of the following point. The hormone which tells the kidney how much water to conserve is known as antidiuretic hormone, that is ADH. It is also known as adenine vasopressin. ADH constantly regulates and balances the amount of water in the blood. It is made by the hypothalamus of the brain. So this is all about the osmoregulatory function of the kidney. Now let's look at the function of the kidney that involve acid-base balance, that is pH regulation. The pH of the human blood is between 7.3 and 7.4, and a range that is either below or above this is dangerous and harmful to the body. The body fluids contain small amounts of acid, which is gotten from food, and carbonic acids gotten during respiration when carbon dioxide combines with seawater. Now, if the acid content of the blood gets higher, The distal convoluted tubules minus, that is the hydrogen ion from the urine, and more hydrogen ions, that is superscript plus. Likewise, if the hydrogen ion content of the blood gets higher, less hydrogen ions are produced by the cells of the distal convoluted tubules, while more hydrogen ions are produced and excreted with the urine. In this way, the acid-base balance of the body is maintained. We have looked at the functions of the kidney. There are some disease conditions that are peculiar to the kidney. So now we are going to be looking at the disease of the kidney. The disease of the kidney are as follows. Number one, we have nephritis. Number two, we have kidney stone. And number three, we have diuresis. Let us look at the first disease of the kidney, which is known as nephritis. What is nephritis? This is a condition known as inflamed kidney, and it is as a result of infection in the throat, ears, nose, etc. The poison produced by the germs, when carried by the blood to the kidneys, damage the glomeruli. This causes the glomeruli to be inflamed and be more permeable than normal. Other effects include puffiness in the face, swollen kidney, dizziness, fatigue, high blood pressure, back pain, headache, fever, etc. This condition known as nephritis can be prevented and cured. So now let's look at the prevention and cure. Number one, all food items must be properly cooked and washed. That is, we must wash food items properly and we must cook them properly. The second prevention and cure is that drinking water must pass through proper purification process before consumption. And thirdly, dialysis machine, also known as artificial kidney, for filtering out waste could be used by a professional. So now let's look at kidney stone. Kidney stone results when tiny solids like calcium phosphate find their way into the nephron and become too large to the extent of blocking the nephrons. This disturbs the free flow of urine and causes severe abdominal pains and also increases the blood pressure. Some of the remedies to this disease include: number one, drinking of sufficient water and other fluids, such as fruit juices, in order to flush out unwanted waste products. 2. Intake of food containing calcium should be limited. 3. Usage of prescribed drugs from qualified medical doctor. And number 4, in extreme cases of kidney stone, surgery might be done to remove the stone. The last condition we are going to be looking at is the diuresis. Diuresis is simply the increased production of urine by the kidney. What are the causes of diuresis? It can be caused by high intake of fluids, especially those containing caffeine or alcohol. It can also be caused by some medical conditions such as diabetes and heart failure. High salt diets can also be a cause. So how can this condition be prevented or cured? So we are looking at the prevention or cure. Firstly, we should limit the intake of caffeine and alcohol. Secondly, salt and sugar intake should be monitored. Thirdly, we should hydrate appropriately. We should rest appropriately and manage stress levels. We have looked at the different diseases of the kidney and how to manage them. Now we'll be taking the similarities between the excretory organ of mama and earthworm. Number one is the fact that both filter their excretory products. So the excretory organ of mama and earthworm filter their excretory products. The second similarities is that both reabsorb useful materials in the tubule. The third similarity is that both excrete urine. The next similarity is that both possesses bladder for temporary storage of excretory products. The next similarity is that both are made of network of long coiled tube. Now let's look at the difference between the excretory organ of mama and earthworm. First difference is the fact that in earthworms, each segment has its own pair of excretory organ called the nephridia, which carries waste products outside the body. While in mammals, nephrons unite to form a main collecting tube which empties into the renal pelvis and is discharged through single opening. The next difference is that in earthworm, nephridia are arranged in each segment, while in mammals, nephrons are not arranged in segments. The next difference is that in earthworm, the funnel is ciliated, while in mammals, the funnel is not ciliated. So we have come to the end of the teaching in this session. Now we are going to be taking some questions, starting with examples. The first example says, which of the following statements on urine production is not correct? A. Concentrated urine is produced under the control of antidiuretic hormone. B. The total volume of urine produced depends on the need for water excretion. C. If there is an excess intake of water, dilute urine is excreted. D. If there is a shortage of water in the body, the volume of urine produced decreases. E. In the presence of antidiuretic hormone, dilute urine is produced. The answer to this question is E. And this is because antidiuretic hormone signals the kidney to absorb more water from the filtrate in the tubules into the capillaries around the tubule, thereby producing more concentrated urine. Antidiuretic hormone do not produce dilute urine. Now we're going to our next question. It says, which of the following performs the same function as the contractile vacuoles of a unicellular organism? A. Kidney. B. Alimentary canal. C. Liver. D. Pancreas. E. Bladder. The answer to this question is A, as the kidney helps in osmoregulation in higher animals, just as the contractile vacuole helps in osmoregulation in unicellular organism. We'll go to our next question. Which of the following is the correct route for the movement of materials through the kidney? Bowman's capsule, loop of Henle, collecting tube, pelvis. B. Glomerulus, loop of Henle, collecting tube, Bowman's capsule, pelvis. C. Pelvis, Bowman's capsule, glomerulus, loop of Henle, collecting tube. D. Bowman's capsule, glomerulus, loop of Henle, collecting tube, pelvis. E. Bowman's capsule, loop of Henle, glomerulus, collecting tube, pelvis. The answer to this question is A. The route of material through the kidney is actually from the glomerulus to the Bowman's capsule to the descending tube to the loop of Henle to the ascending tube to the collecting duct to the pelvis. That is why A is the correct answer, because A shows that the glomerulus, it moves to the Bowman's capsule, then to the loop of Henle, to the collecting tube, and then to the pelvis. Now we'll go to our next question. Next question says, the mechanism by which useful materials in the glomerular filtrates are taken back into the blood is known as A. Filtration, B. Reabsorption, C. Hemolysis, D. Osmosis, E. Dialysis. The correct answer to this question is B. And this is due to the fact that the mechanism by which useful materials in the glomerular filtrates are taken into the blood is known as selective reabsorption. To our next question, it says, the cup-shaped part of the Bowman's capsule contains the A. Nephridium, B. Glomerulus, C. Loop of Henle, D. Nephron, E. Convoluted tubule. The answer to this question is B, because the cup-shaped part of the Bowman's capsule contains the glomerulus. The glomerulus is a cluster of capillaries. Now to our next question. It says, kidney stone is a disease of the kidney that results in the A. Blockage of the tubules by solid particles. B. Passing out useful materials of the body fluid with urine. C. Presence of large quantity of water in urine. D. Passing out hormones in urine. E. Prevention of urine production. The answer to this question is A. This is because kidney stone results in the blockage of the tubules by solid particles. These solid particles are hard collections of salt and mineral, also made up of calcium and uric acid. To our next question. Ultrafiltration process at the Bowman's capsule is facilitated by A. The volume of water in the blood. B. The high concentration of urate in the blood of the Bowman's capsule. C. The differential blood pressure between the glomerulus and the Bowman's capsule. D. The differential blood volume between the glomerulus and the Bowman's capsule. E. Heavy weight of the urea, water, glucose, and amino acid in the Bowman's capsule. The correct answer to this is C, as the ultrafiltration process at the Barmer's capsule is facilitated by the differential blood pressure between the glomerulus and the Barmer's capsule. This brings us to the end of our examples. Now we are going to be taking the exercises. These exercises are taken from our book in Hidden Facts in Biology, on page 186 of the textbook. Try your hands on them and check the answer section of the book to know if you got them correctly. You can check that in both the hard copy and the soft copies of the book. Thank you.